Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Muzi Yeni Waited to Win show. And yes, it's, we've waited a while to get Muzi on our Waited to Win show. And the reason we haven't had him is because he's always been riding in Port Elizabeth, particularly on the Fridays, of course. And we're fortunate to the extent that he didn't have any engagements. And so I want to welcome him, Darren, with us, and Darryl and Muzi. How are you, Muzi?
Hi, Clyde. Lovely to be on the show, and been following you guys for a while now. And just well done for your hard work. It's very good for racing. And now that we're all online and doing everything on either Zoom or Skypes these days, and just keep up the great work. Proud of the way you guys carry the industry, and obviously guiding all the racing followers so well. So just keep up the good work.
Thank you, Muzi. And hey, look, they said you're in your private jet. Are you taking off? Where are you going?
I'm taking off to Turpentine.
Land on the back stretch, hey? You can land on the grandstand side. They've scarified the course now. You can use that as the runway. It's fine.
It'll be a soft landing.
Soft landing, absolutely. Anyway, it's nice to have you. Darren and Darryl. Darren, how are you doing in the Cape?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Last week, Cape Town, we hit Miss Smarty Pants 14-1 into 6-1. So that was great. And yeah, great to have Muzi on the show. A top rider, one of the best in a finish. Very hard to pass when it's heads up, heads down, and great to have him.
Thanks, Darren. And Darryl, how's it looking for you?
Yeah, all good, my side. Thank you very much, Clyde. Actually, looking forward to tomorrow's race meeting. I think it's a punter-friendly card, and I'm certain we'll be in the winner's queue come the end of the race day.
I hope so. Last weekend wasn't. We also thought it'd be a punter's card. Last weekend wasn't great. So there were a couple that let us down, and I don't know if it was the inside track or what got to it. But and the fast, they were going good speed and nothing really running on unless they went a cracking pace. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole track and going thing is going to play, which obviously we'll talk to Muzi about and see what he says. Okay, so let's get straight into the show, if I may, and show you guys where we are at. Thank you very much. Once again, that's just our disclaimer. So if I may just basically take you through everything. Basically, the situation looks like this. Our favorite, Durban's favorite son, Muzi Yeni, with us on the show here tonight, as you guys can see. And it's very good to have him on Waited to Win. The Muzi, I want to just, whilst you're on it, I want to just talk to you, if I may, about, that you've had so many different experiences in your life and see how things go. And here's some images in terms of some special moments. I mean, you've collected a lot of trophies throughout your career. And I just wanted you to, just for those who haven't followed your career, don't know how it all works for our first-time viewers, etc. You got into the game, and your achievements, all that sort of stuff in a short space of time.
Yes, Clyde, I would say, I've actually had a great career. Slow starts, but when I say slow, it wasn't that slow. But obviously, in terms of pinnacles, obviously it started picking, and I've always had stop, start, and now I'm starting to get more consistency on winning major races. So it's been a great career, and most importantly, I've managed to get away without serious injuries in terms of breaking bones, spending weeks in hospitals. So I've actually had a great career and a lot of success during the time as well.
And Muz, I mean, there must be multiple highlights of your career, but if you had to identify one or two, I mean, the photograph in the middle, in the circle with your South African colors on, where you're wearing the South African silks, because it wasn't only where you participated locally, you also participated in the international team as well. So, I mean, that must bring back some great memories for you.
Yes, managed to represent South Africa and managed to be captain as well. Won the Victor Durban at Newmarket, my first meeting where obviously I beat Sungyeon in a finish. So that was at Turpentine. And we've done well. Raced with Frankie at Port Elizabeth, where we were able to one year and second. So we had some nice time representing South Africa. And the one picture on the right, I went to Greece. I managed to win a race there on International Day representing South Africa. And on the one on the top left on my side is the one winning the Piedmont Charity Mile, which I won 2 years in a row now. Backed it up last year with Mr. Crawford's horse. So I've had a bright and a little bit glittering career, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
Absolutely. And I was wondering who those jockeys are with the beards. So that's where, so they're Greeks, are they?
Yeah, I went to Greece. I was able to kick a bit of butt. So yeah, that's what happened.
Nothing wrong with that, Muzi. That's and then you've had some of your associations with sponsors in your time, Muzi. Winning Form, Hollywood. There have been a few that you've been a part of that have always wanted to be a part of the Muzi Yeni profile.
Yes, I was with Winning Form for a very long time. Until obviously, I just said. Just when I say issues, sometimes you gotta work out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And unfortunately, Hollywood did a lot for me when I was at drama in Mauritius, got me out the country. They were with me for a very long time. Unfortunately, as an athlete, you carry injuries when you're racing, and I don't think when we are sponsored, it should be a pay-as-you-go system. I think if your sportsman is injured out on injury due to racing, is meant to be taken care of. And I found Funda Mali was in the contract was very complimentary of that, because we do spend a lot of time on the sidelines due to injury or suspensions or whatever it may occur. But if something that you pick up while you're working, I think the sponsor should be able to carry it through, because you are spending a lot of time representing them as well.
Yeah, okay. And right now, are you associated with a brand at all?
Yes, I'm with Funda Mali. That's the one I'm speaking about.
Okay. And what do they do, Muzi?
They're tax practitioners. They manage obviously tax and business taxes, and they are chartered accountants.
All right. They're still busy with yours. Yours all good. Are you all in good standing?
Oh, mine all up to date.
Great. Muzi, I wanted to ask you about this photo in particular. Well, let's start with the top. I mean, that's a great memory, War of Athena. I mean, she's really been special to you.
Yeah, she's been exceptional since I got onto her back. I think I've got touched off her last start. Oh, I rode her first time out in a grade 1. I got beaten in a 1200 as a 2-year-old. And you won't believe it, she was on the boil for almost 8 months, where she won the Triple Crown, won the Will Evington, and obviously I lost a race. I think just got aged off, just particularly, I think a 1600, not a galloping course, just caught her out, but she's been phenomenal. She's probably the best filly I've sat on.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that photo underneath, I said, that's your signature when you come back, your bow as you take your bow when you win your races. I mean, that's something that a lot of punters have now become accustomed to. Did you just decide? Is that something that you did on your own? Did you pick it up from somebody? How did that come about?
Well, it was a logo a lot of guys used to use, but obviously no one has used it on a horse. So I thought, why don't I pull off this stunt to celebrate and just to cheer the people around me for the victory, and everyone seems to like it, and it's stuck.
Absolutely stuck, no doubt. To ask the other guys, you guys got any questions for Muzi before we go on to the show? Darryl, anything about his career you want to know?
Yeah, I just want to know, with regards to the Jockey Academy, who was in Muzi's same year as him?
I was Richard Furry, Kevin Larina, myself, and Keenan Stain. And the others obviously dropped out, and they're no more racing with us.
It was a good year, produced some good jockeys, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, bit of a good year. And a year before me was obviously Kumalo, the Sean Veals, the boys, you know, the guys.
Yeah, we got some very good jockeys. Are you, Muzi, whilst you're on it, are you worried about the fact that there are jockeys that are now leaving our shores? I mean, you know, when I go back 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I mean, we had superb riders, I mean, that were at the, you know, the best, some of the best in the world. South Africa really, you know, produced magnificent riders. But are you worried at all now that they're exiting? There are quite a few guys that are not around anymore. You know, we're moving on, and the talent in terms of what's coming through seems to be lesser of what it was before, or perhaps I haven't taken enough notice of. Perhaps there is much greater talent than I thought there was. What's your view on it, Bruce?
My view is, I can't be worried because it's obviously beneficiary. Obviously, I can. If there's a few talented guys around you, the more races you win. You know what I mean? So it's an advantage. But in saying that, I also it's something that I'm really considering as well to go abroad, just purely because our racing career is not long. The stakes are not as great as they used to be. So it only makes sense while you still got I think I got a good decade of me left in racing. I'm 34 years old, turning 35. I'm hoping, I think after 10 years when I turn 45, I can't be traveling every day like how I'm doing now. So you gotta go there, and while the prize money is right internationally, you gotta go do that, because when you come back, you can't earn what you know what I mean? You can't earn that type of money anymore, you know what I mean? So it only makes sense to go there. I would love to come back home after I've done a stint internationally, but it only makes sense for the guys to go, you know what I mean?
And your country in particular, where would you like to be, Muzi? I mean, if you had to, if it was, where is the right place for you to go to?
Well, at the moment, I've been offered in Canada, and obviously, because the prize money and the stakes are very, very good there. And what do you call this? I wouldn't, obviously Hong Kong, you'd like to get in, but Luke and Lau, obviously with the accolades, they got first preference. But those are the type of places you want to race for. And I do love, I love European racing, English and Ireland. I just think like the greatest horsemen and probably the world's best judge of paces are there. You know what I mean? Those guys are horsemen of note.
And Canada, lovely in the summer, but in the winter, how are you gonna ride in the winter? What you gonna do there? It's freeze, minus 25.
Yeah, the stakes, if you actually find out with the stakes are actually phenomenal. You must know the exchange rate. I don't have to tell you that, Matt.
Yeah.
I can't ride forever.
Doesn't matter how cold it is, that'll warm you up enough. That will be fun.
Yeah, it's as a sportsman, you make hay while your age is still in your side. You know what I mean?
Muzi, could you possibly single out an up-and-coming apprentice that you believe has got what it takes?
You do have some young talents, but you don't know how versatile are they. You know what I mean? That's the catch. So it's easy. It's nice to see them winning races, but you also need to have some you need to be versatile as riders. But I gotta say to you, Kumeda seems like a lovely young rider. Jacob seems like a lovely up-and-coming rider. You've got Carl Stradham, looks like, so those in Durban, those are my kind of standouts. And in Cape Town, I haven't followed really closely, but there's no doubt there is a shortage of jockeys in quality.
Okay, Moose, well, that's great. Thank you for your time on your career. We wish you everything of the best, and hopefully, if Canada comes through, it'll be a great opportunity for you, and we wish you well. But we want to make some money before you go to Canada, so hopefully you can help us find some winners on Saturday at Durban. Where, as we said, at this point in time, that's the only scratching we have on the card. The going, you'll notice that irrigation in the last 7 days, 24 mils. It's a pen of 20. It's good. There's a 4.5 meter spur when you turn for home. And we'll start up with the fourth race on the card. This meeting dedicated to all of the Highveld winners, trophy winners of the season. And this is the Champion Middle Summer Pudding Stayer African Adventure Maiden Plate over 1,600 meters. and everybody seems to be on this horse, Mark's Chick, that Warren Kennedy rides for the Michael de Kock stable. She's had 2 runs to date so far. And I'll start, if I may, with Darren about this race. Darren, she's up at 11-10. I don't know if that's too short or if that's the right price.
No, that's the right price. I was prepared to take the 11-10 today. And this filly, she's a Vercingetorix out of a Dynasty mare. Very good debut behind Alabama Anna. She was staying on nicely. There were 2 direct winners from that race. And then stepped up over 1,400 into feature race company, take on grade 1 quality, Big Burn and Supreme Quest that day. She ran 7 3/4 lengths behind the winner, but a horse that was only about half a length or 3/4 of a length ahead of her was a horse called Princess Kesh, who dropped back into maiden company after that and won by 6.5 lengths. And on the strength of her 2 runs to date, it is a one-horse race. The market rival Kismakia ran 3rd on debut behind Amalfi Coast. The form line is very weak. And then a horse like Lady Fair that got beat 6 lengths by Princess Kesh can't possibly match Mike's Chick. So banker and the best bet of the day.
Is that your best bet of the day, Mark's Chick? Okay. Darryl, you agree with Darren about Mark's Chick? Hard to beat?
Yeah, Clyde, she's actually overpriced. If you can get some 11-10, take it now. She'll start in the red. You know, she got beat further on paper in her second start, but she made proper progress from run 1 to run 2. Darren's touched on everything. The form line has been franked. On a line through Princess Kesh, she holds her 2 biggest rivals in Country Flame and Lady Fair. I think those are the 2 you have to focus on for the exacta. Banker Mark's Chick, our Country Flame and Lady Fair to follow up in second. Kismekia, like Darren touched on, debuted in a very, very weak field. She finished alongside fillies like Serena Slam, Frosted Ice, and Ocean Pride. That is weak form. She would have had to improve dramatically to feature in this race. Mark's Chick, overpriced, take the 11-10. She's the best bet on the card.
Okay. And Muzi, what do you think of the race? You think she's also, would you agree with the guys?
Obviously, they're the form line guys. I'm the guy who manages to sit on them on the track, and I managed to work on Tuesday, and I can give the guys a go ahead. She put up winning work. I'll be disappointed if she doesn't win.
Yeah, different. See, we got Muzi on the show. This is why we got Muzi on the show. She worked on Tuesday. Green light given. Thank you very much, Muzi. That takes care of that race.
Muzi, how did she work compared to your private jets over there? She could.
Well, I think the bank is safe. Let's put it that way.
That's great. That's great. Right, the first one's home. The first leg of the jackpot, the champion horse of the season on the Highveld, War of Athena. She got that award. It's Muzi's filly, and the champion breeder, well done to Summerhill Stud handicap. It's a handicap at the 87 level over the 1450 meters. And here, number 1, Seaways, is top of the boards at 5-2, but it does appear to be quite an open race. And so I guess what I'll do here is go back to Darren and ask him for some help in there. I mean, Seaways he's done absolutely nothing wrong with his certainly his current form. He hasn't stopped winning.
Yes, he gets a bit outpaced. From the gates, he's scrubbing at the back of the field. And usually the pace is on over the 1450, and he's normally left with 7-8 lengths to make up in the straight. But he really turns it on strongly. And I see a decent enough pace in the race with horses like Wakas, Suited Connector, Ballon d'Or that like to go. Seaways is going to be doing strong late work, the final 300 meters. And with the 2.5 kilo claim off his back, I think it actually gives him the slight edge in this race. So my first choice is Seaways. For second, I like Theory of Flight. I like the way he's coming along. He's had the 3 runs in the Highveld. Good last win. He got quite a hefty penalty for that run, but he looks progressive. The rest of the field is wide open. I think the pick 6 we are going field in my one, yes. And my shorter term, I'm banking Seaways.
Okay. Thank you for that, Darren. Darryl, just to ask you about Theory of Flight. I mean, he joined Bar and Burgess. They got his rating down to an 81. He won off the 81. He's gone back. He got quite a hefty penalty. He's now running off an 88. Samanga staying with him, got the ride again. I suppose he could win again. But I personally like Suited Connector, the horse of Paul Peter's stable. I think he'll enjoy the inside track, this horse. But what's your take on the race?
I see this race a bit different to what the betting's been priced up. I think Diego's got an affinity with Seaways, and he's also returning from a rest, possibly he had his vaccinations. So I'm willing to take him on. There's no doubt the pace is going to be genuine over here. You've got the likes of Quinetro, who I think is actually going to make the pace over here. Last time out, he never got to the front. He seems to run his best races when he's up there on the pace. So I think the pace is going to be genuine along with Ballon d'Or. The way Theory of Flight won last time out, it was like he was dropped in at the 200-meter mark. He won so effortless and convincingly. I think he's got the ability to follow up on that victory. He's going to be thereabouts for nothing from a good draw. And he's obviously found form and feeling good on the half vault of the year. So I wouldn't be so surprised to see him follow up. Suited Connector, he's having his peak run. He's in cracking form. He beat a horse, Funky Music, by a good couple of lengths in his last start, who came out to run second to a very above average sorting Valdiosa. So I've got healthy respect for Suited Connector. And if Connetra gets handy on the inside track of the galloping weight, I'm going to tip him to be thereabouts. So it's a very wide open race, in my opinion. I'm going to go Theory of Flight to be Suited Connector, Connetra backing third.
Yeah. Can a horse, Darryl, can a horse like Ricardo win again? Because in the way he ran them over last time on the inside track.
Clyde, he was impressive in the way he turned it on in the finish. Just looking at the depth of that field, I think he's biting off a bit more than he can chew over here, because that was a very weak form line on paper on what he beat last time out compared to what he matches tomorrow.
Okay. And Muzi, have you picked up anything that you might like in the race? Did you see anything in particular, or do you find it open?
Yeah, it is a competitive race. But obviously we're on the inside track, and obviously I always feel it's always a tactical type of race. Obviously, I gotta say, well read by Darren and Darryl about the pace should be quite fair, which should bring Seaways to the race. Should bring Seaways into the race because he needs a hot pace to be most effective. But I just like Smanga's also the way it won last time. It looked really like almost effortless. He glided in, and Sinfonica is not a bad sprinter in Johannesburg with the handicapping. So I think him being in the box seat, inside track, first run, Smanga is obviously, he's the guy, he's the form jockeys. You gotta also go with the guys that are winning the races, and I really think he's the value better on the day on the race card.
Yes.
I think he'll be in the box seat. He'll have the run of the race. Inside track, those got a lovely turn of foot. Showed it at the Val. I think he's the horse to beat. And obviously, Seaways and Paul Peter's runner will probably be the immediate dangers.
Yeah. Okay, I think you found a good horse in Theory of Flight. I think they got him right. I was a little bit worried about the penalty he got, but it doesn't matter. If you guys are confident about him in the handicap, he's definitely a runner, Theory of Flight. Watch out for Suited Connector. Let's go to the next race. This is the sixth race on the card, and well done to owner Chris van Niekerk. This is the Pinnacle Stakes. As far as this event is concerned, and you know how those works in terms of weights. We explained it last week with the Bandit, but it looks like MK's Pride's hard to beat. He's 11-20 odds-on favourite to win here, with in all probability the one horse being the only danger. I don't know. That's how I see it. But I'll stay with. Let me go back to you, Muz, and ask you about what your view is on MK's Pride. He's odds-on to win. He seems to be a really good horse, and perhaps hard to beat in the company.
Yes, he's a classy horse. He almost ran at level weights in the Mercury Sprint. Almost ran at level weights, and he wasn't disgraced. He went down under half a length against some best sprinters in the land. I don't think his match fitness has been impaired because he hasn't been off for that long. He's definitely the horse to beat. I just got a nice, healthy respect for Bingwa. He's forever consistent. If there's any tint in the arm of Mike MK's pride, just in case, like Darryl says, the horses could be coming off vaccinations. They're prepping for horses for the charity mile type of race. If anything, maybe Bingwa at the weights, but I see MK's pride being very hard to beat.
Thank you, Muzi. Darryl, your take on this Pinnacle?
Yeah, Clyde, he's a pound better or best in, just ahead of Express from the US, Tierra del Fuego and Bingwa. So on the weights, he's not a 11 to 20 shots based on the structure of the weights. But in saying that, you can't fault his form. Just look at what which races he's contested recently. The Golden Horseshoe Grade 1, the Mercury Sprint Grade 1, the Post Merchants Grade 2. And in all of those races, he managed to finish less than a length of the winner. So his form is faultless. And one can argue that he's better over 7 furlongs. So he should take a lot of beating. If you get some luck in running, you'll be right there at the finish. And there's no doubt he is the horse to beat. Just going back a few runs, I think it was in the Hawaii Stakes, he met Express from the US and he beat him by 0.6 of a length, and he's a kilogram worse off. And funny enough, both of them had excuses on that occasion. I think MK's pride was caught wide, and the Jockey Express from the US dropped his stick. I don't think that would have made a difference in the actual result, but he might have just finished a little bit closer. But Express from the US, just go 3 runs back, Clyde. He's given a Grade 1 winner and 10 kilograms and a beating. So there's no doubt that he's very, very talented. And in a small field, he won't be too far off him turning for home, and he can really turn it on. So I think it's a 2-horse race. I think MK's Pride's the one to beat from Express from the US. If you're looking for a trifecta inclusion, approach control, I think he's going to get the run of the race of the year. And he's got some sort of ability to finish into the money of the year. But MK's Pride, the horse to beat, Express from the US, his biggest danger.
Yeah, Darren, let me ask you about Express from the US. Are you worried about the inside track? I see that he hasn't had that many opportunities on the inside track, perhaps only 2, but he hasn't particularly featured all that well on the inside track, Express from the US, whereas MK's Pride has only had the 1 run course and distance and 1 on that occasion. How do you see it?
Well, Express from the US, I would have preferred him on the stand side course over 1,400 meters. I believe MK's Pride will get first run on him and give that burst at the right time, and Express from the US will get slightly left behind. So for me, MK's Pride, a 1,400 meter specialist, unbeaten at the course, running fresh. His last run was on the 31st of July, where Express from the US was the 3rd of July. So I believe that's in MK's Pride's favor. And he's drawn, 5 out of 6. There's not going to be much of a pace on, but he's got a great acceleration, and I think he'll be the horse to beat. So MK's Pride and then Express from the US will be running on late.
Okay, that's how you see that particular event. Muzi, just in terms of the inside track and the speed, I mean, I've noticed the last month or so, or since we've been there fairly consistently, is that I made the statement last week, if you're not first, second or third turning for home, unless there's a cracking pace on, I don't think you're able to make it up. Are you finding it the same way?
Yes, it's only understandable. It's that time of the year where the grass not growing as well as it should be. Track is on top. You know what I mean? So it's not like a fair going where it allows every horse to come up from his really running fast. And inside track, as you know, is a very short running. And also the false rail, how it's placed, it's got a lot to do with that. It funnels us up before it lets you, before we all can get going. So it's that time of the year, and also the way the track is also set. So it's very hard to make it up from beyond. That's why preferably you try to go with 4 horses, and horses are really well drawn.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. That'll take us to the 7th race, which is the champion trainer Paul Peter who won the Gauteng title. Well done to him this year. It's again a Pinnacle Stakes, this time for the fillies and mares. And we'll stay with Muzi for the moment. It does appear like the 4-horse Under Your Spell is the one to beat. I'll come to Muzi in a moment. I tried Sean Terry. Unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of him, but he called me back when our show had started, so I couldn't take his call. But he has WhatsApped me to say, because I said, I want to ask you about Under Your Spell. And he said they haven't had the grass at Drying Keys. So that's basically his comment. No grass at Drying Keys. Big weight for a 3-year-old this time of the year. Hopefully the handicapper has her right. Thinks she wants the turn, but done nothing wrong in the sprint. All will come on from the outing if off breaks. And not to say that she can't win. So I suppose because there's been no grass, worried about the weight, might be a little bit of concern, but no surprise if a filly as good as she in the race wins the race. Moose, but with you obviously you're in the race and you're riding this horse. Now You See Me. I just want to ask you how you rated the race and what chance you give yourself.
It's a bit of a tricky race, honestly, because I'm coming from a deep door and there's one or two horses that are not going to make it easy for me, like Annie Boyle, who can easily can lead. So I'm not really favorable at the weights, but I think a lot of horses are prepping. So I think that's why Mr. Lucky took his chances and ran the horse. We are up against it a bit. I think Under Your Spell is a phenomenal filly. To win a grade 1 by almost 4 lengths, it can't be a slouch. You know what I mean? And I don't think Mr. Terry will be running. Though, yes, we haven't had the grass in all respect, but I don't think it's a filly that would like to take it to the court to get beat. So in my opinion, she's the horse to beat. I gotta say, Smanga's got a phenomenal record with Rujale. He gets along with the horse exceptionally. She'll be in the box seat, and I also think she's a top horse. And I rode that horse Snow Palace last time. I gotta say to you, from the saddle, I probably got her to do too much. I fired her out in the pins and I couldn't get her quite back. I expected to be there in the trifectas and quartets. And I think Warren is the immediate danger with Anna Boyle. Just because he's drawn well, he's going to get to the front without hassle. And he ran a very, very good race against Golden Spoon, which she's quite a decent filly, which races off a 90.
Okay, Mo, so you're right. I think Under Your Spell, definitely the class act of the race. But if you are looking to go wider, well, then Muzi's horse has certainly got a chance. Tell me, Darryl, let me come to you quickly. You've heard now what Sean has to say, but I think Muzi summed it up. She is that good.
But I believe that she's not going to be in need of this runner because he's putting her over 1450. I think if she was in desperate need of the run, he might have opted for a race over a shorter distance. But I don't know, maybe there's just nothing on the program for her. But just have a look at her form. That day that she got beat in the nursery, she had run a race before they had even loaded her. So put a lot of line through that. She was way above herself behind the pens. Things just didn't map out for her before they started loading. So barring that run, look at her form. She's been absolutely sensational. And she has been thumping the best of her generation convincingly and effortlessly. Now she's been stepped up in trip. She won't be bustled early. She can just be well positioned. She switches off in her races and she turns it on. So there's no doubt she is the filly to beat. She's got a bright future ahead of her. But in saying that, would I be climbing in at the 15 to 20? No, I wouldn't be. I'll be bankering her in my pick six, but I won't be having a bet on her because she's obviously got bigger fish to fry. She's got a big season ahead of her, and this is a prep run. But I'm expecting her class to pull her through. But I'm not going to be backing her or adding her into any of my multiples for the day. The horse I make the biggest danger is Snow Palace. Now she's having a peak run, and like Muzi said, he possibly went a little bit quick in her last start because that race changed complexion of the final furlong. A lot of the horses that were out the back door in the early part of that race finished their races off strongly. And now she's having a peak run and she's back against her own sex. And just have a look at her rating. Her rating's plummeted. And despite that fact, she comes into this race fairly well treated in this conditions race. So she's going to be my second pick. If I had to add one in my pick 6, I'd add Snow Palace to Under Your Spell. But Under Your Spell is my pick 6 banker. I just want to touch on Rouge Allure. There's no doubt she's done extremely well. But she's going to have to run above 103 to win a race like this. And I don't believe she's capable of achieving a mark higher than what she's currently at. So Under Your Spell, I'd love to see her win. If I'm backing up in the pick 6, I'll add Snow Palace.
And now you do give Muzi's also a chance.
I think she's taken a big step up in trip, but in her favor, she's handy. She goes handy, and that's always a positive on a track like this. I just think I think there's others slightly more talented than her in this race.
Okay, Darren, what do we do here? I mean, I understand we're going to say let's bank her Under Your Spell. She's the class act, she should win, and let's take our chances. Are you more confident?
Well, she's not part of my best bets on the card. Reason why, you know, she's a young 3-year-old with 58 kilos in a decent field. And it's hard to say if she's going to bring her juvenile form into the new season. She's rested since the 6th of June, but she oozes class. The only time she got beat, she was drawn 1 of 9, and nothing was winning down the inside of the track. So you can forgive her that run. She won a grade 1 by almost 4 lengths. She cruised up to them at Scottsville, which is a testing 1200. So that means the 1450 could be what she's looking for. And I believe that Sean Terry's got that spot on. So Under Your Spell, close to her banker. She's got the draw. She can have the run of the race. I've included Anne Boleyn. She's a front runner. She's drawn 1. And they're winning from the front at the moment on the inside track with the penetrometer being at 20. So I'm just thinking she might just get away with 56 kilos on her back. Those are the 2 I'm going. I'm going Under Your Spell to beat Anne Boleyn, and anything else for the placings. Rouge Allure, I haven't seen an 8-year-old with 103 merit rating in a very long time, but she's done very well. I would have preferred the mile, but she should be thereabouts.
Clyde, sorry, I just want to touch on Under Your Spell's a half sister to Witchcraft, who, if I'm not mistaken, won the KZN Oaks over 2400. So there is some stamina on her damn side, and if she's more effective of a trip like this, you could possibly see this filly even get a mile or 1800 in time to come. And if she does, she could be anything. At this stage, she's, like I said, she's been exceptional. She's been sensational.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's what Sean is doing, is planning her career now. She's going a bit further. As you say, there's some big filly features coming up now. The spring season's underway, and there are a few races I'm sure they've got targeted for her. Let's see how she features. The 8th race on the card is the champion jockey of the Gauteng province, Samanga Kumala. Well done to him. Champion apprentice Luke Ferraris. This is a handicapped fillies and mares over 1600 meters. And I thought that perhaps Ferrari, Darren, she might be the horse, but it does appear to be an open race. I mean, having a look at it, I see Muzi's got his ride on Me Time, and she's the type of horse that could easily win here. And we'll get to Muzi in a moment. Let's start with you, Darren, in the 8th race, where they're betting 7-2 the field, where number 3, Pin Up, tops the boards at 7-2.
Yes, it is quite an open race. In my pick 6, I've actually gone the whole field, but I do see a lot of value in Ferrari. I'm quite surprised she's still a 2-time winner. I think she won her first 2 starts, and now she's had 21 starts for 2 wins and 10 places. But on this course, she's run 7 times for 2 wins and 5 placings. And her merit rating took a very long time to drop from 92, but it's come down 2 points, which could give her the winning edge. So Ferrari is the value in the race. Good each way value, 8-1 and about what, 16-10 a place. Over Sweet and Spicy, 2 good comeback runs after a break. 1 length of Rouge Alaire, 1 length of Silver Tycoon running on strongly, and she gets the 2.5 kilo allowance. Others to consider, Pin Up, won a really good race last time at the Vaal, but I would like to see her confirm that kind of form. And then Hochi Witchy, she's had a bit of a layoff, but she was impressive when winning first time up the maidens against older horses that day. Meantime, in and out form, on her day, she's capable of running a good race.
Okay, so you found Ferrari. Darryl, how did you get it?
I think number 2, Sweet and Spicy, is the horse to beat over here. Just go back and watch her replay of her last starts. I thought she was desperately unlucky. She was traveling so well, and despite the small field, she couldn't get a run. And the apprentice found himself switching right to the outside, and I'm certain that cost him more than a length. So she would have gone close to winning last time had she got that gap at a vital stage. She's had 2 solid runs since returning from a rest, and there's no doubt she's going to be right there when it counts the most. Her biggest danger, I think, will come from the top weight, Ferrari. 3 runs back, in my opinion, she was unlucky on the inside track. She was caught on the rail, and the swoopers made an early move towards the outside and got first run on her, and it was difficult for her to peg them back with the top weight. I thought that was a creditable effort nonetheless. So she's going to be the danger to my first pick. And then Healthy Respect for Pinup, who races handy. She's fit, she's well, she's got a turn off foot, and she should be well placed. So she'll be there when the chips count. I'll make it between the top weights in this fillies and mares handicap. I'm going to tip them 2-1-3.
Okay. So now, Muzi, what do you make of that? They're brassing your ride. I mean, what's your take on Meantime, yeah, Muz?
Yeah, Meantime stepping up in class, so I understand why the boys aren't confident. I understand why the gents are not confident, but saying that, I think it's one of those races where it's going to be a tactical race. It's the type of race where you want to really go wide in this race. It's really open. It's really a tactical race. The pace will be a factor. Who gets in the box seat? Ferrari, massive runner. If you take away his last run, the run to Golden Spoon from drawn 11 out of 11 to get beaten under a length. Sweet and Spicy. Silver Tycoon, if he was in this race, will probably be favorite. So I agree with Darryl. Darryl, that must be a massive runner. But whether the fact is you got Warren drawn well, you got Smanga Kumalo drawn well. Do you see yourself, Pila Sanda, giving 4 lengths, 3-4 lengths to try go past those type of guys? So it's all those little factors that make us a sense. That was Lee Express. I rode it when I got touched off second. She's not a bad filly. She's a type of filly that also can be in the mix. So it's a real wide race open. It would be hard to put my finger onto it. If anything, maybe Ferrari could possibly the also beat.
Also beat, okay. But we're not leaving yours out. You're right in that it is an open race. So we're going as many as we can as far as the 8th race is concerned, which takes us, Muzi, to the 9th race on the card. This is the
Can I just also just a mention to wish my my colleague Smanga Kumalo for winning a champion jockey in the Highveld, beating Lau. It's a great answer.
So you got champion Gauteng. Well done.
So he got a Gauteng and he won it by a good margin. So just well played by him. So well done.
And it appears that he's also, in terms of season, taking up season opportunity, that this season you're probably going to see a lot more of Samanga as well.
Yes, Steve's agent has got him carded almost throughout the country, even in Cape Town. So yeah, no, it's been interesting. But I think at the moment Warren holds the aces. You know, Paul Peter averaged a high number of wins last season, and Gavin Smith a high average of winners. So Warren's on a good wicket. But obviously, Smang and myself are to be respected just in case he fluffs his line.
If you don't go to Canada, you might win the title, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying to you, Kennedy looks like those to beat.
Okay. I won't put words in your mouth. All right, thank you, Muzi. All right, the champion work rider was Jockey Muzi. Well done to him and to the champion groom, Jack Landile. This is a fillies and mares handicap, and it's run over 1,600 meters. And in this particular event, does appear to be open. They're betting 7-2 the field here. And Muzi, you on the mare Little Rain. She's got top weight in 60 on her back. She's off her rating of 75. But you rode her last 2 starts. Tell us a little bit about her. And I would imagine it comes as no surprise to you for you to win a race like this.
Yes, ran a cracker last time. I was out in the open, which was a Vaal straight. For a race that I didn't see much pace in the race, I had a few horses challenged me quite early, and she folded very late. I think around the turn, a cozy race. I expect a massive run from this filly. She gave me a nice feel. She's feel like she's getting better with every run since she's been with Mr. Bottas. Obviously, my immediate dangers will start as Statala. It will be Marigold. And yeah, those are looks like my 2 immediate dangers, and maybe Evening Rise, Smanga's ride with a good draw.
Okay. We'll ask Muzi about his other rides just now. I want to just quickly come to Darren in terms of the 9th race on the card. Darren, you know, with Little Rain taking into account what Muzi said, it does appear to be one of those fillies and mares handicaps again. Open races. Do we load and go as wide as one should?
Yeah, we got to load. We got to go as many as possible in this race. Just going back to Little Rain. Previously, I backed her a couple of times before she went to the Bottas stable, and she used to race very headstrong, and she used to over race. But hopefully that's over now because she's going the mile again around the bend, and hopefully she can settle in running, and then she can find a nice finish as she did last time. Stratus Totale. I'm waiting for this filly to go 1,800 meters because she seems to hit a flat spot and then run on again. So Stratus Totale should be thereabouts. Marigold Hotel, an interesting runner. She's rested. She's a young 3-year-old. She's beaten Rain in Holland on debut. Run second behind Decent Sorts. 7 lengths off Desert Miracle last time out. So on that sort of form, she could be anything. Fireflower is an interesting runner. Her merit rating dropped down to a 70, and she drops back to the mile again on the inside track. So I think Fireflower will be thereabouts. And then just one other to mention, Kapama. Her merit rating's down to a 55, and if there's going to be a big upset, she could flash up.
Darryl, your take on the fillies and mares handicap at the back?
This another fillies and mares handicap. Once again, I'm leaning towards the top weights. I make number 2 Strada, Statale, my value bets on the card. Just have a look at her 2 runs since returning from a layoff. She's proven that she's very competitive off her current rating of 73. And she's won 2 of her 3 wins on the inside track. So she's effective on the track too, coupled with the fact that she's having a peak run. So in my opinion, she represents a value in the race. I think she'll take, with a little bit of luck in running, she'll take some beating of a Little Rain. I like the fact that Muzi's gotten to know her in her last 2 starts. And the stable's also showing signs of form. So she's going to be cherry ripe. I don't think she'll be too far off them turning for home because you don't want to give them weights and start on a hard track, especially the inside track. So she's super fit. She'll run another honest race. And then the favorite Marigold Hotel also falls into the category of probably bigger fish to fry for the season. But she's certainly talented, and it will be no surprise if her class pulls her through over here. I'm tipping them the exact same as I did in the previous race, like 2-1 from the 1 and 3 to fill in the trifecta positions.
2, 1, 3. Okay. I want to just, whilst we're on the Muzi, just to come to you for a moment, and if I may, because we don't, we normally only cover the pick 6, but it would be silly of us not to ask you about your rides earlier on, and you've got Verolina for Mike de Kock, and since you were there on Tuesday, I see she's even money in the betting. They're backing this horse back to Formentera, who is from the Alec Laird stable. But just to ask your view on Verolina, what you make of the first race ride?
I gotta say, I was very impressed when Lal rode the horse from, jumped in the inside track on debut, drawn 8 out of 9. It's literally a bad draw. how she showed pace and controlled the race, and I think just got touched off lack of experience and maybe could have was allowed to need the run on her debut. I think today with the experience, obviously I was a track. She doesn't show a hell of a lot. She doesn't show a hell of a lot in the mornings, but she's better. She's a better grass track. I'm not gonna go all out and be very very bullish because we haven't galloped horses like we normally do. We are waiting for the reins. But on a class, I think she'll be hard to beat. I did see the Mr. Lade's horse run on debut. It looks like if it was a 14 mile, I would say she has a chance. But over 1200, I think my filly will be hard to beat.
You're right. Okay, so please let's hope you win the first, and then the one in the second that also Jazz City riding for Paul Matchett. I thought that Successful Ruler might be the horse to beat. I think he's 15 to 10 favourite. But your horse, I thought value at 10 to 1, Muzi.
Yes, lovely improving horse. Obviously, a nice debut. Was a good education run. She got left. She was sluggish. She was very green. She's with natural improvement. I expect her to be in traffics and quartets. It'll be hard for me to say I'll beat Mr. Terry's horse because it looks like she's more of a sharper filly at this stage. But I expect a bold run for my horse.
I see your form line's quite strong behind that. Who's that star? When I say there's a winner that's come out of there, that's Samuel Salt, that came to win. Then you're riding a third, Moose, Admiral's, that you're riding in this particular event, Wave Warrior, for Paul Matchett stable. You rode him his last 2 starts, and he's been pretty consistent. He's done nothing wrong.
Yes, he's a lovely horse. He's more of a staying type of horse. Well, it was hard to resist this race because when he got nominated and he drew one, and he's holding good form, but he's more of a stand side type of horse, and he's more of a galloping sort of horse, 2,000 meter horse. But he's fit and well. I just feel like it's a bit of a competitive race with more time magic and Aquila from the Sean Terry rod. But I expect him to fight out the finish.
Maybe run a drum for the place accumulators. Okay, thanks, Muzi, for taking us through that. We've got a new drive, Muzi, just so that you know. We want you to join our WhatsApp group. We are starting a WhatsApp preview on Weighted to Win. We've spoken to the team, and it's about getting all of our viewers onto a group where we can start communicating with them about, this is a weekend show, but we're looking at perhaps giving some advantages during the course of the week as well. So WhatsApp 060-880-4844, and when that comes, there's some midweek tips, there are competitions, there are mega wins. It's an exciting time in the Weighted to Win journey. So WhatsApp us and join the Weighted to Win preview. All you need to do is send your name and your email address, and we will add you to the soon to come WhatsApp group. It's the WTW WhatsApp preview 060-880-4844. You got your phone on you there, Muzi?
Yes, I got my phone on me.
Start WhatsApping so we can put you on the group, please, Muzi, eh?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. The Weighted to Win pick 6. Remember last weekend we said we're going to give each of our tipsters an opportunity to give their own page, but their unified pick 6 looks like that on the screen, which for 10% is going to cost you 316 Rand, and they'll be depending on the 4th race and the 7th race in terms of their bankers. So that's the Weighted to Win pick 6. This is Darren's play. Darren, you want to take us through your play of the day?
Yeah, so I'm going pretty short in the buy pot. I'm taking a chance. I'm taking 5 bankers, 4 horses in front, hoping to double up there as well. And take it for 400 bucks, take it 100 times and maybe double up to 200 times. And then my best bets, Mike's Check, very confident selection race 4, as well as MK's Pride in race 6. And then my multiple play for the day, Mike's Check a win, C place 3 places, C Ways 3 places, MK's Pride win, and Ferrari 3 places. My pick 6 shorter perm, I'm just taking 4 bankers in front with 2 fields at the back, and then my main perm, bankering Mike's Check, bankering MK's Pride, going the 2 horses with the Terry runner, Under Your Spell and Anne Boleyn, and playing wide in the other 3 legs.
Okay, there's lots for the guys to digest. That's your screenshot for Darren. Darryl, your chance.
Best bets on the card, Mark's Chick in race 4, my pick 6 bank at 2. My value bet comes up in the last Friday. It's the Tale. I think she represents each way valued around about 5 to 1. If I have to suggest the double for the day for the weighted to win views, it would be 1 Mark's Chick onto each way Strada Statale. And then if you're not convinced with regards to Under Your Spell, I'd suggest you add Snow Palace into my pick 6 firm.
I think your pick 6 is wrong. The 5th leg should read Field.
Yeah, thanks for noticing that.
Which this leg, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying we need to fix this?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leg.
Yeah.
You got Field there, Darryl?
Yes.
Okay. We'll rectify, we'll correct that for you, no problem. Okay. So we'll notice that we'll put Field over there. And then just in terms of the weighted to win double, we're going race 4 and race 6, Mark's Chick into MK's Pride, eh?
Yes.
That's that play for the guys on weighted to win. All right, that's your double. And then Muzi, your best bet, race 6, MK's Pride, you're sticking with that, and your value bet is in race 5, Theory of Flight.
100%.
Spot on with those two. So we got that information from Muzi. Thanks for that. And then I thought that Muzi will ride the first 2 winners. I said Muzi Yeni to ride the first 2 winners on the card. He won the first and he won the second. And I like the fact that his second race one is a 10 to 1. He's only got 1 horse to beat. I hope that horse has improved. And it's an omen we've got Muzi on the show. And that takes care of our show, guys. Remember, it's every Friday night. And once again, I just want to thank Muzi very much for joining us. And it's getting dark in your jet now, that private jet. You better put the lights on there, eh? Before you start flying, you put the runway lights on before you land.
No, sure. Guys, I'm honored to be part of the show. May you continue your great work. It's good for racing, inspiring for everyone, and I've got a lot of friends who follow you guys closely. So just keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Muzi.
Thanks, guys.
Muzi, maybe just touch up on your snowboarding skills. Or I don't think you got the legs for a skier, but maybe snowboarding on those Canadian slopes.
It's not confirmed. That's it. We got offered, nothing confirmed, brother.
That's all right. We want to see you in the snow, Muzi. Show us when you're there. Okay. Send a video. Enjoy. Thanks very much again. Eh?
God bless you. Have a
All
good weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Darren,
guys.
Darren, one question, Darren, with Durbanville tomorrow. What's the story? The last time you told us Miss Smarty Pants. Have you got a special horse again? Or because I don't want to not ask you and something happens.
Just give me a second. The standout for me was the Gatekeeper. I always thought that horse needed gelding, and he's finally been gelded, and I think he'll win first time back. And an interesting runner is La Furlie Douche. She's a Silvana out of Covenant, and for her to win over 1,000 meters by just about 3 lengths on debut shows that she's got promise. And she receives 4 kilos from a horse like Hyazana over the 1250. So those the snake for redouble for me. Okay, thank you for that. All right, Darryl. We mustn't forget about your pick 6. The 5th leg, we've got the field in your perm. Eh? We must make sure that works. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Good.
You too. Thanks.